Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn about user defined objects. What are user defined objects? This mainly covers two topics. First is creating new objects and second is object mapping. In object repository we have learned that objects are the copy of the web element that are displayed on the web page. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to create our own objects. Suppose in a scenario where our application is not ready, okay, in a agile or in a whatever model that we are following, the manager has given us work to create a script. But if we don't have an application, how we can create a script? But it has already known that our application is going to have a login. So what a tester does, it goes to the developer and talks about if the developer can help with an object. So developer gives a list of objects that are going to be on the login page. So he grabs all the, so he sees the document and note down the attributes and value and then creates its own object. So we are going to see how to create a new object in QTP. Second, we are going to learn about the object mapping. This come handy in the window application. I am going to demonstrate both of these things. Just remember, in creating new objects, we are going to create the objects in the object repository, but without using spy. In the second, we are going to map an object with a standard window. So I think we'll be more clear if we take an example. In the first scenario, what we are going to do, we are going to open Yahoo Mail. Alright guys, suppose this page has not been created yet. Alright, I'm just taking a scenario in which we are going to add our new object without using the object spy. So what I know initially, that my web edit box will be there, my password box will be there, and my sign in button will be there. So what I'm going to do, we are going to see the properties. Okay, I can use the ID and username. I'm just going to copy this on notepad. ID, username. Second, password has an ID as password. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a new object for username and password, and then we are going to enter the text in both of the things. So what I am going to do, I am going to open my test and create a new test. What kind of test I am going to create? I am going to create a GUI test. Okay, as my test is created, I am going to open object repository either by double clicking on local or using Ctrl R. In this, under object, there is a button says define new object. You can also use this star thing to define new object. In creating new object, we are going to define new object, but remember these guys, that it has to follow the hierarchy. Like first there going to be a browser, which is a Firefox, then there going to be a page, which is my Yahoo Mail, and then there going to be a web edit. So here in the class browser it written, I will give it a name as browser. Then we are going to add another object, page. I'll name it as Yahoo mail page. Then we are going to add a new web edit. This is username. We are going to add a property HTML ID that we have noted in the notepad, and going to delete the property that we are not using. ID is equal to username, and click on add. Then I'm going to add another object, password, which has an HTML ID as password. Okay guys, like you can see that all the four objects under the hierarchy has been created, but we need to create a specific hierarchy. So browser, then page should come, then username and password. So I'm just going to drag Yahoo page on browser. See, now they are getting represented in a tree structure. Now if I use highlight, it should highlight the password in the application. So our object has created successfully. So what we are going to do, we are going to just enter the text in the browser. You can set this as test, password as test, and let's just try to run this script and see our objects are correctly mapped or not. See, it has entered test in both username and password. So in this way we can add or create our own object using this star button. The same way, if you are using a shared object repository, there also you will have this button through which you can create your own object. It's come in handy when you don't have an application or you are using a specific property of an object, and instead you all know all the attributes and value. Instead of highlighting or pointing in the application, you start creating your own object repository. So second thing we are going to discuss is object mapping. Sometimes what happens, like if I show you what I'm searching for picture, music and video. Okay guys, here it is displayed as a checkbox, but when we are going to identify these object using object spy, then it is displayed as a win object, which is wrong and also misleading. So what QTP offers, that you can map this win object to a specific class. How I'm going to do that? Under tool, there is an object identification. Here, there is a button called user define. In this, I can use this button to highlight this thing video and then map it to a checkbox and click on add. Now what it did, it added this mapping into a list like class name, and it mapped to its specific class. Now again, when I am going to highlight this object and add it to my repository, is going to be added as win checkbox. Okay, that's great. So let me just open my object repository. See here, it's added as a win checkbox, which is now correct. So I can also use the property that checkbox has, like on. What it's going to do, it's going to select the window checkbox. See this, it selected the window checkbox. So guys, what we have learned two things. First, creating new object in the object repository. Second, mapping the object to its specific class. Thank you guys for watching this video.